The desert wind howls through the dunes, stirring up sand that whispers through the night. The traveller pulls his cloak tighter, stepping carefully over the shifting ground, eyes locked on the horizon. He's alone, or he thinks. Behind him something stirs, a flicker of movement just at the edge of sight. He turns quickly, but there is nothing, just the emptiness of the desert. And yet the feeling lingers. Something is watching. In the ancient world there are entities that walk unseen, spirits made of smokeless fire, existing just beyond the reach of human perception. Some call them tricksters, others call them demons, but their true name is older than any language, older than any religion. They are the Djinn, and their presence has been feared for thousands of years. The origins of the Djinn stretch back to pre-Islamic Arabia, where they were believed to be supernatural beings that lived alongside humans but remained invisible. Unlike ghosts or monsters, the Djinn are not the remnants of the dead, nor are they simple creatures of the earth. They are something else entirely, beings of pure energy, older than mankind, shaped from fire and wind. In some legends, they were among the first creations of the universe, existing long before humans ever walked the earth. But unlike angels, they were given free will, and that makes them dangerous. Stories of the Djinn vary across cultures, but one thing remains the same. They are unpredictable. Some are benevolent, even helpful, while others are vengeful and cruel. A Djinn can bring fortune or ruin, protection or death. They are neither fully good nor purely evil, but something in between, operating under laws that humans can barely understand. Some dwell in the wind, others in abandoned ruins, deep caves, or the darkest corners of the desert, and some live among us, unseen. Many cultures believe that the Djinn are shapeshifters, able to take on any form. Some disguise themselves as animals, black dogs, snakes or cats. Others take human form, appearing as beautiful strangers with something just a little off. Eyes that seem too deep, voices that echo when they shouldn't. Sometimes they blend so well that they live unnoticed for years, until something gives them away. One of the most chilling stories comes from an old village in North Africa, where a woman claimed her husband was not truly human. He was kind, strong, and never aged a day, no matter how many years passed. The villagers whispered that he must be blessed. But one night, the woman woke up to an empty bed and heard a voice outside. His voice. She stepped into the courtyard and saw him standing there in the moonlight, talking to something unseen. His voice was strange, speaking in words she didn't recognize, his body flickering as if it weren't entirely solid. She never spoke of what she saw that night, but by morning her husband was gone. Some say he was never truly human at all. Many who claim to have encountered a Djinn describe an overwhelming sense of being watched, followed by strange occurrences. Lights flickering, objects disappearing, whispers in an empty room. Some believe that the Djinn can influence dreams entering the mind while a person sleeps, planting thoughts, fears, or even entire experiences that feel real. Others say they can possess the living, taking over bodies and minds, using humans as vessels to walk the earth unseen. Despite their power, the Djinn are not invincible. Ancient texts describe ways to protect oneself: iron, salt, and reciting sacred verses. Some cultures believe that a circle of salt or specific prayers can keep a Djinn at bay. Others say they can be trapped, bound into objects like rings, lamps, or bottles, but if a Djinn is captured, it does not forget, and it does not forgive. Throughout history, people have tried to explain away the legend of the Djinn. Some suggest that they were early interpretations of natural phenomena, sandstorms that seemed to have a mind of their own, sudden gusts of wind that spoke in eerie tones. Others think the stories were ways to explain sleep paralysis, a condition where a person wakes up unable to move, often feeling a heavy presence in the room. But even with these explanations, the belief in Djinn remains strong. There are places where their presence is still feared. In certain deserts, travelers refuse to sleep under the open sky, believing the Djinn roam freely at night. In abandoned buildings, people report hearing voices echoing in empty halls. Even today, some claim that the Djinn still walk among us, unseen but always watching. So the next time you feel a sudden chill in an empty room, or hear a whisper just beyond your hearing, ask yourself, are you truly alone? Or is something standing just outside your sight, waiting? Have you ever experienced something you couldn't explain? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories of the unknown. Until next time, be careful what you invite in.